So how much disrespect is too much when you're cold calling your real estate leads? How much disrespect until you hang up on the person or until you just drop the lead altogether? How much disrespect should you take? How much is too much? To get right to it, I believe when somebody cusses, when I cold call and if I'm interrupting whatever they have going on in their day, if they cuss at me, regardless of the cuss word, I hang up. I don't condone that at all. Now, another thing, as soon as, someone calls me out of my name or whatever that name may be, if it's not, he or, whatever else, if it's not something, if it's anything out of the norm, I'm going to, hang up. They call me out of my name. So right off the bat, those are the first two things when you're cold calling your real estate leads. If somebody cusses or call you out your name, that's something that's personal to me, but at the same time, it does depend on how much disrespect you're willing to tolerate. But I can say it is a balance. It's a balance. So I was actually just having a conversation today about it. Just because I was cold calling and it was a lead, great lead, and the guy was saying, I need to talk to somebody who makes the financial decisions. Now, and what I teach you guys is you always defer to the purchase manager when you're cold calling these leads, because the guy was pressing me for the price. So he wanted to know the price like right away. And, for me, it's a process you have to go through. One of that is if it's rented, is, how much the tenant is paying, and are they on a month-to-month or a year lease? He didn't want to answer those questions. I told him, okay, but, at least tell me about the property. He just told me, what can you pay? And if you can't pay this much, then, move along, for me to move along. So, I told him, well, let's get these questions answered, and then I'll be able to, get this over to my purchase manager and then let you know. That's how you avoid being able to have a price offered right away. So that being said, he was like, well, I need to speak to the money person right now. No disrespect to you, D'Angelo, which, is disrespect kind of intended. But for me, it didn't bother me because, like I said, certain things just don't bother. If it bothers you, then it bothers you. So somebody calling me out my name, for me, that bothers me. Now, him saying something like that didn't necessarily bother me enough for me to be like, click, hang up on him. This is a good a good lead, a great deal. And at the same time, him saying something like that, I'm just, all right, whatever. Because at the end of the day, I know what the real situation is. I know who my purchase manager is. I know what all this setup is. So that being said, it doesn't bother me. But if that bothers you, then right there, that would be something that you would just dead that lead altogether, no matter how good the lead is. The same with if somebody says, yes, I'm willing to sell, and then you're asking questions, and they said, mother effort, why are you asking me all these questions? Are you willing to buy it or not? But yeah, it's a good lead. Now, are you willing to withstand that? Are you willing to withstand somebody calling you out your name and cussing at you as well? And just because it's a good lead, you continue along that conversation? And maybe if that doesn't bother you, you would, because for me, it's just about closing a deal, whatever you got to say. But at the same time, for me, something like that I can't look myself in the mirror knowing this person is calling me out my name and I'm buying their property. Now, that's the difference there. So you got to figure out what that is. But another thing too, something that, may make you just drop a lead altogether, as far as disrespect wise, is, if you were to, be talking to somebody as far as the owner, and then they go and try to sell the deal behind your back. So that is right there is a tricky situation, because you can record the contract. If you haven't saw that video, make sure you click it up there. Speak about how I earned $7,500. It was without wholesaling the property, but it's because I recorded the contract. So the video will be up there. You'll be able to, I have the text messages and everything. The seller was very excited about me buying their property. Then they switched up on me and, told me they just backed out because of the rental market. Come to find out, they had somebody else buying the property. Then I recorded the contract, and then, they begged me to, get it off, but I told them they have to pay. And we came to an agreement of price, and they tried to go down on the price. But you'll see the detailed version if you click the video up there or in the description. Now, the main thing there, though, guys, that right there, for me, I could have played that two different ways. When she went away, I could have said, well, you can just sell me the property, and you don't have to sell it to that person, and I can be able to sell it to my buyer. You get what I'm saying? But at this point in time, I was like, no, I want you to pay what I felt like I was rightfully owed. The amount that I felt like I was owed was the amount that I got. So that being said, you have to figure out which way you want to go with it, because you could continue to work with that person to still close their property if you decided to. That's one of the things with the, with the lien that you record on the contract. So that being said, guys, you got to decide how much disrespect is too much for you. And if it's too much, as in if it's, if it feels to be too much, if you feel different with yourself, if you feel like, this, I don't deserve to be treated this way, ultimately, if you feel like that, then, move on and have an abundance mindset. That's one thing that'll really help you guys. If you have an abundance mindset, it won't, like, you'll be like, this is one deal of many, because that's really how it is in this business. You come across so many deals on a daily basis, being that so many people want to sell you their property on a daily basis. It's just about if the numbers work, and most of the time the numbers do work. So you just got to have that abundance mindset. If you have that abundance mindset, it'll help you, really have the integrity and, the character. And for you, you got to realize that don't nobody know how you're being treated except you. You feel me? So just because you're like, okay, this person is calling me out my name, but I'm about to be able to close their property and make $10,000, you got to decide if that's worth it, And like I said, you got to also decide what other things draw the line with you. And the way you go is your feeling. If you feel bad, like, this is supposed to be a fun process, a fun business. If something is making you feel bad, just remove it. And the way you can remove it is change your feeling. The way you can change your feeling is, remove that thing out of it, and you'll feel better. You'll just feel a sense of relief, getting that, whatever that is, out. So I guarantee you, it is a lot better to have, deals that you are, interacting with people in a respectful manner versus somebody who's disrespecting you, because how it starts out in the beginning of it is most likely how it'll be in the middle and at the end. If they're, playing games at the beginning, they'd probably try to play games, a week before closing. So you don't want those kind of things. So save yourself all of that. Have some self-respect. Keep your heart in each step. That's how you feel like you're already a success. And as always, get to stepping.